Okay, so I swear that I have not been playing the guitar for 10 years. What happened? Why have I not been playing the guitar for 10 years? Okay, well, let me explain. So, um, first I went to grad school. I did play after grad school, but I'll explain. So, I went to grad school. I started repressing my feelings about playing music. When I was in school, I was studying so hard that I had to squash all of these song ideas and all these creative thoughts that were coming to me, and that was really hard and really challenging. What happened when I did that was not when I did that, but along the same time period that I did that, I was in school and I was in my internship. There were so many crazy things going on around me. For one, I was living and working in a moldy environment. The environment was so moldy at work. We actually had to move away from the location to a distant location in Augusta. It was crazy. The mold was really bad. And then I ended up developing autoimmune arthritis. It got triggered, and when it first got triggered, it didn't impact my wrist and fingers. That was not impacted immediately. But what it did was it went like everywhere throughout my spine and my body. It was in my shoulder. It started in my shoulder, and it was in my back, my lower back, my upper back, cervical spine. Everything was starting to fuse together. It was really, really horrific and scary. So I got on medication. That got resolved, but it became really, really hard for me to play guitar during that time too, because it hurt. It hurt my whole body to sit. It hurt to play. It hurt to practice. It was really hard to sit down for a prolonged period of time and engage with an instrument. Just even the posture of holding it ended up it was just too much for my body to handle, like having that instrument at that time. So I did kind of put it down. Even when I was feeling better, I put it down. I put music aside, and it kind of stayed aside for a really long time. It did come back. I did play some music on the guitar, but it just really started slipping away. I started getting autoimmune arthritis that returned and came in my fingers and my wrist. It caused some wrist damage, and I feel like the damage is there, but I feel like it's a lot better. I don't think you can see it from this angle at all. But there was a slight difference. It really feels like it really feels like to me it's back to normal. I can see a slight difference in this being less flexible than my right, but it used to be like I couldn't bend it down. I can bend it down now. So I had this idea that it was completely damaged because they saw it on an x-ray, not like an MRI, it was on an x-ray. And at one point my finger like turned into a big sausage. So the issues I had with my autoimmune arthritis like affected everything. And I think a lot of it became like a psychological block for me. Like I didn't want to go back to an instrument where I was sitting, because what kind of resuscitated me from the pain and the arthritis that became so debilitating was it was movement. Yoga rescued my life. Yoga was the only way for me to get through that. I developed a different yoga practice than I had before. I previously had this really active and intense yoga practice where it was all about kind of showing off. And so I put that aside. I put aside my music and put everything aside to just rescue myself and save myself from this like really horrific, scary experience where my whole body was in extreme pain from ankylosing spondylitis. It's an autoimmune disease where my body attacks my healthy tissues and joints because it just doesn't know the difference. So what I'm saying is it traumatized me. I put away my instrument. I put away my previous yoga practice, which I'm okay with that. But I continued to have an active lifestyle, and I noticed the things that helped and the things that didn't, and I got really good at taking care of myself. I ended up starting to make music again and getting back into that with an ex-partner, and I'm very grateful for him for bringing that back into my life. But I felt like I had like given up my music for my illness, and by being able to have somebody else to play with me, it allowed me to step into my voice, in my singing voice, and really utilize that and really grow with that. But I still felt this sense of extreme dependence on him, which was not a good thing, because he was someone that was a bit controlling of my energy around what I could do, who I could do anything musically with, and I, obviously couldn't process my own feelings around him and what was happening there while I was writing with him. So it was like I kind of gave up my own thing to just merge musically into this relationship. When that ended, and I'll say, I loved making music with this person. I'm incredibly grateful for that element of that, and it brought that back into me. But I will say that regaining my independence in music, what I started doing was after this separation, it was like, well, I'm a vocalist. That's what I can do. It was too hard for me to think of like re-engaging with my guitar and like an instrument. It was just too hard for me to think of like relearning all of that and redoing that, and like getting back into that relationship was something that I felt like was taken from me because of my illness. And I don't know, but I also feel like I've developed this whole identity now almost around like I can't do these things because of that illness. That's not why I can't play guitar. That's not why I can't play an instrument. It's my choice. I did have a limitation in my wrist. I did have damage, but it was my choice. It's been my choice not to play. And I think also it's this feeling of I don't like this pressure that I have to be something to be considered an artist or to just do whatever I want in this world. So I started making pop music. And I really fell in love with it. And it wasn't just starting with pop music. It was just starting to work randomly with people on the internet because it felt safe. I first tried to, connect with people locally and stuff, and was trying to find people that maybe wanted to write music with me, but it was just really spotty and really hard to pin anybody down that was reliable. I would start projects and people would abandon them, and I just got really reluctant to want to do that anymore. So I just found people on the internet where we could collaborate, and there wasn't anything more than that was involved. And I really stepped into my voice and started cultivating that, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. Then I started working with some paid producers because I found them to, I guess, in theory, be even more reliable, though I've certainly had some challenges with that too. So I'm kind of rambling here. I just wanted to say that you can do whatever you want with your music. You don't have to be what someone else wants you to be. You don't have to learn things that other people tell that you need to learn to be an artist or musician or whoever you want to be. Music and art is like for your spirit. It's for taking care of yourself. When I started making music, it was for my spirit and to take care of myself. Some of the music sounded completely shitty. When I listen to it now, it's like that sounded horrible. But it was beautiful and healing and cleansing for me. And I just really encourage people to do what you want to do. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Don't get involved in like trying to impress and fix other people through your creativity and through your music. Don't, if you need to drop something because you have an injury or an illness, you can give that up. You can give up. You can surrender your relationship with music. It might come back with a vengeance. If it's your calling, it's your calling. If your calling is to like go out and be in the garden and not think about any of this kind of stuff, that's your calling. Some of the things that can pull you away from your calling are probably just getting caught up in image and social media and comparisons and all those kind of things. All those things can be really toxic. Community and connection, that's so important with music too. I started making music because I was connected to other musicians, and I never considered myself a musician. I always thought my friends are musicians, I'm just fucking around. I still consider myself that, but I listen to my music now, the pop music that I make, and I find it healing. I find it something that's just important to me. Sometimes when I'm feeling low and disconnected or sad or angry, I'll go listen to my own music, and it helps rescue me from that. It helps me connect to my feelings and rescue me from just the senses of despair. And I think that's what really music is meant to be. It's supposed to be something that softens you, strengthens you, and helps you become more of a whole person. And I just want to say, today, I felt like picking up the guitar for the first time in 10 years, where it wasn't someone suggesting I pick it up. And I don't know why, I just did. And I think it's because it's me. No one can take that away from me, other than an illness, I guess. But no one can. It's my independence. It's my independence. It's something I used as a tool for many years. I'm not good at it. I'm not great at playing guitar. In fact, just playing it for a minute fucking hurts. I actually wanted to record how shitty I sound. This is like on day one. Like, after not playing for 10 years. Like, what does that sound like? It sounds pretty bad. Like, I mean, that sounded a little bit better, and that's the beginning of my Alien song. So I want to get my calluses back up and ready, and I want to play. I'm done with this negative image of myself of being broken and sick. I'm also done with people telling me I should play the guitar or telling me I need an instrument. I don't. I'm going to still do my pop music, and I'm not going to have a guitar, and I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to step into myself and own it, but I can play the guitar and I can do it when I want to. At home, it's for me, and I don't have to put it online, and I don't have to play anything, and I can have some parts of my music story that are just for me. Just for me. Not for anyone else, not for me to share with you, not for me to play with you. It's just for me. And if you're a musician that has space just for you, I think you're doing the right thing. And if you're a musician or an artist that has space for community and connection, that's a good thing. It's all a good thing. It's not about best. It's not about pride. It's not about ego or doing more and more and more. You'll never get there. You'll never get what you're looking for. You need to connect to yourself. And if music helps you do that, then it's a good thing. And if it's not helping you do that, you need to take a break. Go do some yoga, go do some gardening. You can take a break for 10 years. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're still an artist and musician. You give yourself permission to do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. Love you.